In the quiet whisper of a meadow, where the sunlight drips through petals and the air trembles with life, a hum begins. It is not just sound, it is civilization. It is order, purpose, and rhythm embodied in wings. Somewhere in that golden murmur, the architects of sweetness take flight, the honey bees. They are among the oldest and most intricate societies on Earth. An empire so precise and so ancient that even time itself seems to bow before their endurance. Long before humankind built its first cities, before empires rose and fell, the honey bee had already perfected the laws of community, geometry, and devotion. Every hive is a kingdom, every bee a servant of a cause far greater than herself. In this hidden world, perfection hums beneath every petal, and survival dances on the edge of the wind. The story of the honey bee begins not in meadows or gardens, but in time itself. Fossilized bees, perfectly preserved in amber, have been discovered dating back nearly 100 million years. Their delicate bodies, frozen mid-flight, bear an uncanny resemblance to the bees of today. For 100 millennia, creatures have evolved, adapted, and perished. But the honey bee remained, her design untouched. She has watched continents drift apart, witnessed the fall of dinosaurs, endured ice and fire, drought and flood. Through all of it, she endured. Where nature demanded change, she offered perfection. The honey bee has been called a living fossil, but that is far too modest a title. She is a living testament, proof that harmony is stronger than chaos, that cooperation outlasts violence. When the first humans lifted their faces to the sun, the bees had already mastered the balance of civilization. Inside the hive, life unfolds like a golden symphony. Tens of thousands of bees work together in seamless unity. There is no ruler issuing commands, no overseer ensuring discipline. Yet the hive functions with precision that human societies can only dream of. Every bee has a purpose. Workers build, forage, and feed. Drones wait for the singular destiny of mating. The queen, mother to them all, anchors the hive's identity. Together, they form a living organism, an entity greater than the sum of its parts. To peer into a hive is to witness an alien city, built not from stone or wood, but from living energy. Bees maintain temperature, regulate humidity, and distribute labor in perfect rhythm. No single bee understands the grand design, yet every action aligns flawlessly. It is intelligence not of the individual, but of the collective, a consciousness that hums in harmony. Every kingdom has its architecture, and the bees is one of divine precision. The honeycomb is a masterpiece, an endless cathedral of hexagons, each one identical, each wall meeting its neighbor at exactly 120 degrees. Mathematicians would later prove that no other shape could better store the maximum volume with the least material. Bees never studied geometry, yet their design achieves what Euclid and Pythagoras could only theorize. The comb tilts upward by 13 degrees, preventing honey from dripping out. Each wax wall is paper-thin, yet capable of holding its weight many times over. The entire structure breathes efficiency, a miracle of instinct that mirrors the logic of the universe itself. The honeycomb is more than architecture. It is mathematics made flesh, perfection born of instinct, the geometry of immortality. When a bee discovers a field of flowers, she does not keep it to herself. She returns home and begins to dance. Upon the honeycomb's golden surface, she moves in a figure-8 pattern, waggling her body in pulses of energy. Each beat, each turn, encodes information. The angle of her dance shows the direction of the flowers relative to the sun. The duration of her waggle tells the distance. The vigor reveals the quality of the find. Her sisters watch, interpret, and fly forth with purpose. Through this choreography of vibration and rhythm, the hive navigates the world. Long before humans invented written language, The bees were writing their own messages in motion. It is the oldest and purest communication of direction known to science, a dance that bridges instinct and intelligence, light and life. At the heart of every hive lies a single being upon whom all life depends, the queen. Yet she is not born royal. She is made. When the time comes to raise a new queen, the workers choose a few ordinary eggs and feed the larvae a mysterious elixir, royal jelly. This substance, rich and rare, transforms the larva completely. From the same genetic material that produces workers, the royal jelly awakens a new destiny. Within 16 days, she emerges, larger, stronger, radiant with fertility. Her scent alone commands the obedience of thousands. She will lay up to 2,000 eggs a day, ensuring the hive's immortality. But the crown comes at a cost. Her life will be one of duty and isolation, surrounded yet forever alone, the beating heart of a world she will never truly see. Royalty in the hive is not shared. When two queens emerge, nature demands only one remain. The young queen begins her reign with blood. She prowls the hive, seeking the wax chambers where her sisters still sleep. With her stinger, she pierces the cells before they can hatch. If two queens meet, their battle is inevitable. They circle, sting poised, each strike a duel for existence. One will rule, one will die. The victor, trembling with triumph, will then take to the skies for her mating flight. High above the earth, she will meet the drones, her suitors, and her doom. Each drone that reaches her gives his life in the act of union, his body torn in the moment of success. She returns to the hive filled with the promise of generations. The conquered queen becomes legend, her existence reduced to memory. In the kingdom of the bees, immortality is written in sacrifice. Though small, the honey bee is a warrior unmatched in loyalty. Every worker carries within her a weapon, a barbed stinger capable of delivering venom potent enough to kill creatures far larger than herself. Yet she uses it sparingly, for when she stings, she dies. Her stinger lodges in flesh, tearing from her body as she flies away. Her death is the hive's defense, her life offered for the survival of many. When threat approaches, bees form a living army. They release alarm pheromones that rally their sisters. They swarm, they dive, they sacrifice. It is the purest act of unity, one life surrendered for the preservation of thousands. No creature embodies courage more quietly, nor loyalty more completely. Winter comes, and the world outside freezes. Yet within the hive, warmth endures. The bees form a living sphere around their queen, vibrating their wings to generate heat. Through this shared labor, they maintain an internal temperature of nearly 35 degrees Celsius, a tropical paradise surrounded by snow. When the heat becomes too much, they fan their wings to cool the air. When moisture rises, they regulate humidity with precision. No machine built by man could maintain such balance. The hive is alive, a breathing, beating organism that controls its climate through cooperation. It is life refusing to yield to winter, community conquering the cold. From the flowers of the field, bees gather nectar, fragile, fleeting, and pure. In their bodies, that nectar begins to change. Enzymes transform its sugars, breaking them down, preparing them for immortality. Back in the hive, the nectar passes from bee to bee, mouth to mouth, each adding her own secret ingredients. Then, through the synchronized fanning of thousands of wings, the water evaporates, and the nectar thickens into honey. What began as the breath of flowers becomes liquid gold, sweet, eternal, and unspoiled. Honey never decays. Archaeologists have found it preserved for millennia, still golden, still edible. It is sunlight made solid, a taste of time itself. The honeybee's brain is smaller than a grain of rice, yet it performs feats of memory and navigation that astound science. Bees can recognize faces, human faces, remembering them even after days have passed. They navigate miles using the sun's position and the Earth's magnetic field, calculating angles and distances with precision that humbles our instruments. A bee's memory can map thousands of flowers, knowing which ones bloom at dawn, which at dusk, which yield the richest nectar. Within her tiny head lies a world of direction, timing, and purpose. Proof that intelligence does not depend on size, but on wonder. Every bee that flies carries the weight of the world upon her wings. A single colony can pollinate up to 300 million flowers in a single day. Without them, the world would starve. 70% of all food crops depend on pollination. Apples, almonds, cucumbers, berries, coffee, even cotton. Bees are the unseen machinery of Earth's abundance. Where they thrive, the land flourishes. Where they die, silence spreads. They are the pulse of the planet, the invisible heartbeat that sustains us all. Across continents, a quiet tragedy unfolds. Hives are emptying. Queens remain with only a handful of drones while the workers, the lifeblood of the colony, vanish without a trace. This mystery is known as colony collapse disorder. Scientists blame pesticides, parasites, viruses, and habitat loss. But beneath all these causes lies a deeper truth. The world they once ruled is changing too fast. As humans pave, poison, and forget, the hum of the hive grows faint. Each lost colony is a warning. That balance, once broken, is not easily restored. The disappearance of bees is more than an ecological crisis. It is a sign that the harmony they perfected is unraveling. The honey bee gives more than sweetness. She gives healing. Honey itself is a natural antibiotic. It cleans wounds, fights infection, and never spoils. Propolis, a resin collected from trees, is the bee's antiseptic, sealing cracks, killing bacteria, and preserving purity within the hive. Royal jelly, the queen's sustenance, is studied for its anti-aging and neurological benefits. Even bee venom, feared by many, is used to treat arthritis and inflammation. The hive is not just a home, it is a living apothecary. Within its walls, medicine hums beside honey, health intertwined with harmony. Bees live in a spectrum invisible to humans. Their eyes perceive ultraviolet light, patterns painted on flowers that our vision cannot detect. To them, petals are runways of glowing signals, pointing the way to nectar. Even when clouds obscure the sun, bees read the polarization of light in the sky to navigate home. They move through an unseen world, guided by radiance that we can only imagine. To live as a bee is to exist in constant communion with light itself, a dance between sun and scent, color and code. Thousands of bees work side by side, crafting perfect combs without ever speaking or planning. Yet somehow, their creations align with flawless symmetry. This mystery led scientists to discover a principle called stigmergy, a system where each bee reacts only to the work already done. When one begins a cell, another adjusts hers to fit perfectly beside it. Through this chain of simple reactions, order emerges from chaos. No overseer commands, yet perfection unfolds. It is the same principle now used in robotics and artificial intelligence, machines imitating the mind of the hive. Bees are children of light. Every flight they take is guided by the sun's position. As the sun moves, they compensate instinctively, adjusting their path to remain true. Even on cloudy days, they navigate by sensing the hidden patterns of polarized light. To them, the world is painted with invisible compass lines. Their entire existence orbits the sun. It tells them when to wake, when to work, when to rest. Without it, they are lost. They are nature's solar navigators, worshippers of the golden fire that gives all things life. Inside the hive, sound is speech. Bees communicate through vibrations that ripple across the wax walls. A queen hums in a deep, resonant tone that commands silence. Workers murmur in gentle pitches that change with mood and message. When danger looms, the hive's hum rises into a chorus of warning. By studying these frequencies, Scientists can determine if a colony is thriving, starving, or preparing to swarm. The hive is an instrument, and its hum is the music of survival. When the hive grows crowded, a great exodus begins. The old queen departs, surrounded by thousands of her loyal workers. Together they rise into the air, a living storm of wings and gold. The swarm moves as one, pulsing and shifting like a cloud with thought. Scouts search the horizon for a new home. They return, dance, compare, debate. The swarm votes. A consensus is reached. Then as one they descend, filling hollow trees or abandoned spaces, beginning again from nothing. Each swarm is rebirth, each migration, a renewal of civilization. Where humans build and conquer, bees move and rebuild. Their empire never dies. It simply shifts like sunlight across the earth. In every drop of honey lies a universe. 12 bees, 2,000 flowers, and countless miles of flight, condensed into a single golden bead. Honey is more than sustenance. It is the condensed memory of the earth. Minerals from soil, light from the sun, breath from blossoms, all merge into sweetness eternal. When you taste honey, you are tasting time itself. Sunlight captured, life preserved, beauty made edible. It is the only food that never spoils because perfection does not decay. Each bee lives only a few weeks. Her life is a brief flicker. Yet in that time she builds, she feeds, she defends. She dies and another takes her place. The hive endures. Their strength lies not in the individual, but in unity. Every bee serves a purpose larger than herself. Every wingbeat echoes a lesson. Survival is not dominance, but cooperation. In their perfect society, there is no greed, no waste, no tyranny. There is only purpose, harmony, and the unending pursuit of balance. The honey bee reminds us that greatness is not measured by power, but by contribution. They have no wealth, yet they feed the world. They have no leaders, yet they rule the earth. As the day fades and the meadow glows with the last breath of light, the hum of the hive softens. Within those waxen walls, the air is warm. The scent of honey fills the dark, and 1,000 tiny hearts beat in time. For a moment, the world feels infinite, a golden whisper suspended between light and life. If you listen closely, you can still hear them. The architects of sweetness, the keepers of balance, the empire of wings. Their story is not over. It is still being written. In every garden, every blossom, every breath of wind that carries their song. And as long as that hum endures, life itself endures. So listen for it, or protect it. And if you wish to keep exploring the wonders that keep this world alive, stay with us. Follow the hum, follow the light, and never stop seeking the stories hidden beneath the wings of nature. Subscribe and let the world keep buzzing.